Hi, I'm Cheryl. Thanks for joining me and spending some time with me today to talk about kind power. So, I'm going to ask you in this lesson, this taster lesson, to follow my movement suggestions and please work within your zone of comfort. Just the range of motion that's possible for you without going into kind of a mode of making it happen. Kind movement works best when we really explore the smooth quality of easy movement and not crossing over the range of what's possible into like how I'm going to force something to make it happen. And kind movement works best because we attend to this kind of difference, this difference between moving easily in a smooth range of motion and then what happens when we push ourselves, when we push into making an effort. A real good cue, a clue for you about when I'm in one and then when I cross that threshold is that we tend to hold our breath when we're straining, when we're making something happen. So just notice for yourself in the movement when you have that sense that, oh, I might be holding my breath a little bit, or I might be making it happen. So, of course, we care about our success, right? We want to get to that goal. We want to make it happen, to know we've achieved it. And so, kind movement really, really doesn't care about how many repetitions, how well you're doing the movement, how far. It's really concerned with this quality of movement and finding movement that's like desirable and pleasurable. Um, this isn't just a sort of aesthetic difference. It matters because it's a way that we've learned how to use ourselves. So if we've learned to use ourselves in a way that's efforting, that's straining, then that's how we do what we do. And so this is really looking at a way to take care of ourselves in movement, a way to just, be able to do the tasks that we can do, but to do it in a way that doesn't strain or doesn't drain us. So, how does that sound? Let's get started. So, I'm going to ask you to find a chair, preferably a chair with armrests. But if you don't have a chair with armrests, please just find a space where you can sit in front of a table or a desk and you can take your elbow and your forearm in your hand and you can lay that flat so it's in contact with the surface in front of you. And you may want to pause the video just so you can get set up and get into that position. For this lesson, I want to focus on our dominant hand. So whether that's your right hand or your left hand, just work with the hand that you use most. And the reason for that is we hold a lot of unconscious tension in our dominant hand. And the thing is that that tension that travels. It will come into affect the rest of our system, or their shoulders or our neck, our chest, our face, even our breathing. So it's helpful to know ways to release that tension and to find open and free movement that's possible. So, and it's just a way that when we hold that tension, we work harder than we need to. And who wants that? So let's get started. Using your dominant hand, just lift your hand, leaving your elbow on the surface it's resting on so that your fingers are pointing upwards and your palm is facing outwards. And then from here, just allow your hand to droop. Allow your hand to come and have your fingers descend towards the floor, and then raise your hand back up so that your wrist and your hand are straight. And just repeat that movement several times, moving slowly with great slowness. And just notice as you lower your hand and lift your hand, notice the shape of your fingers. Are they straight? Are they curved? How far can you go in that sense of what's possible, what's easy? Notice if you're already committing to making it the biggest movement possible, and just let that intention go. Allow your hand to droop and then allow it to come up into straight. Now just lower your hand and leaving it lowered, just move your thumb. Move it gently, a little bit back, a little bit forth, small circles. Just explore the movement and notice how independently does your thumb move? Is it is it connected in with other fingers? Do they join in? Move to your index finger and just notice how easy is this finger to move. This might be the finger that you use on your mouse, on the scroll wheel. So you may notice a different quality in how independently, how easy it is to move this finger. Move to your middle finger. Notice how the movement of this finger travels through the palm of your hand. Are the fingers surrounding it coming in on the movement? Again, don't force it to move independently. Just notice what happens. Move to your ring finger. A little bit back and forth, small circles, whatever way you want. Is your pinky joining in on the action? And now just move to your pinky. How easy is it to move your pinky one way or the other? And then just leave that alone and come back to raising your hand so that your wrist and hand are straight, pointing towards the ceiling, and allowing it to lower. What is the shape of your fingers now? Are they moving together or are some still moving independently in a separate trajectory than the rest of your fingers? Now come and allow your hand to lower. Raise it again very slowly. And now just explore the quality. Could I lower my hand as if it's drooping into soft, warm wax? How does that feel? That very slow, that sinking feeling, and then raising. Let your hand drop, and then turn your hand outward, away from your face, and then inward towards your face. So you're staying in this hanging position and rotating inward and then rotating outward. What's the limit of that movement? Can you go as far one way as the other? Can you explore that range without trying to make it bigger? Just what's possible. Now, next time you turn in an outward rotation, leave your hanging hand there and now explore here. What is it like to raise and straighten your hand and wrist and then lower your hand? How does that feel? If you're finding it difficult, reduce the range of motion. Don't rotate all the way to the edge of what's possible. Come in a little and then explore the lift and the lower of your hand. Now rotate your hand inwardly and then stay in that position and continue this exploration of lifting your hand and lowering your hand. How possible, how easy is this now for you to follow? How does it compare to the outer rotation that you were doing? And leave that and come and bring your hand back to where we started. So the place that's not turned outward, that's not turned inward, and just explore raising and lowering your hand in this position. How's the quality of your movement now? How smooth? Has there been any change in the shape, the line, or the curve of your fingers? What are you noticing about just the quality, the pleasantness of this movement, the smoothness. Whatever your experience is, just notice the difference from the beginning of the lesson to now. So let's make a comparison. Make a movement with your dominant hand as if you were going to grab a pencil. If you have one handy, actually do it. Now try that movement with your left hand. Of course, your dominant hand is likely way more confident with grabbing a pencil and holding it. But listen in, attend to the quality of that movement, to the sense that you feel in your capacity to do the movement. How alive, how smooth, how full does your dominant hand feel over your non-dominant? We've just paid several minutes of kind attention to your dominant hand. And so this is an example of a way of learning that dials directly in to your nervous system, to your brain, a kind of attention to purposeful movement that can change how you move, how you use yourself. If you didn't notice a difference, this was a short lesson. It may not have been enough time for you to really slow down, to feel your own experience, and to drop in to this kind of exploration. Kind movement lessons, they're typically about 30 to 60 minutes. And so they're that long to give us a chance to really come into ourselves, to be able to attend to our movement and to our experience. Thanks for your curiosity. Thanks for joining me today. I appreciate the chance to share what kind movement lessons are all about. Take care.